Let it be known that the true light shines in every woman and man that cometh into the world. The true light that shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehendeth it not. Let us all within air of this true light fellowship hour bear witness to the true light within, that we may, like the real and living Messiah, Yahshua Christ, who many know today as Jesus Christ, pick up and bear our own cross, that we may be worthy of the Messiah by way of the Christ or Christ consciousness, known also as the first resurrection. And as we are now living in these times, let us all rise from our sleep and slumber and do the works of the Most High Heavenly One, this day and every day, as we say, Amun, 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 and Namastu, which simply means, I bow to the divinity in you. Well, Namastu again, and welcome to another Sunday service here at the Holy Coptic Church of the Black Messiah. My name is Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Enius III, also known as Ka-Hun, Anku, Sarah. As always, we'd like to begin by greeting our listening congregation, or those who may be watching this through Facebook or YouTube or wherever you are inviting us into your space. We encourage you to come down to historic Baintown any Sunday at 9 a.m. for our Sunday service, or any Wednesday at 7 p.m. for our True Light Fellowship and Bible Study, as we are a teaching church, and we encourage you to come and question atonism and what it is that we're doing here in town. For those of you who did make it, again we say Namastu. Namastu means I bow to the divinity in you, and we also say Shalom Reyo, which simply means good morning. Morning, y'all alright? Yeah, y'all make it? Y'all reach? You know, and sometimes your body is reached first. And then the rest of you be catching the bus, you know, or driving, so it's good that all of you are here. Well, today we are at the head of another Emancipation Day holiday, and therefore we have another Emancipation Day sermon. But it won't just be another Emancipation Day sermon, as it never is. The celebration of Emancipation Day in our country is a formality. It's a day off. You know, you go to the beach. I think they got Regatta this weekend. Yeah, Cat Island. Yeah, everybody. So, fella at the gas station tell me, nobody, you know, in the gas station, because everybody go on Cat Island, and they pull up and say, y'all ain't got no gas in. This is the asshole down by East Bay. They say, no, why you always see cars? And they say, no man, you come at the right time. Everybody go on Cat Island, right? So it's a formality, all right? And why do I say that? First and foremost, the word emancipation doesn't automatically equate to freedom. We've been taught that this Emancipation Day was a day where we became free. We weren't slaves anymore. However, this word emancipation really means transfer of property. Transfer of property. So as property, who's the property? The slaves, us. Yeah. As property, they don't call us slaves anymore. They call us what? Human resource. Yeah, they have a whole department for it now. HR. It's a human resource. Okay? We as people were transferred from the now lost owners, or the lost slave owners of Britain, to the taxpayers of Britain. This is documented by the BBC in a wonderful documentary. You can check it out on YouTube. It's entitled The Lost Slave Owners of Britain, where they explain how this period of emancipation had nothing to do with freeing slaves. They were trying to figure out how to keep their economy propped up once they weren't going to be receiving this free labor, you see, from these slaves. And so this period of apprenticeship, as they call it, from 1834 to 1838, was a period of transition that the taxpayers of Britain now had to pay the slave owners because their property was being released. So they were saying, well, if we ain't gonna be making no money off these niggas, these human resources, then we need to have some working capital. That's why money now is that capital. We were the original capital. You understand? And so the reality of the situation is we were not freed. We simply now had somebody else that was responsible for us. Okay? These British taxpayers. So we now sit in a nation making up the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, because when Sir Lyndon Pinland and them, when he went off to London, that was one of the changes that was made. We became the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now, of course, this is much later now, okay? But we didn't become the Commonwealth of the Bahamas until around independence time, close around at that time, and it was getting the Constitution in order, etc., right? But of course, the wealth is not common. Financially or otherwise, the wealth is not common. And so, what is the answer or the solution to this quagmire, to this confusion, to this state that we as a people are in? There must be a solution, because we've been here before and we've gotten out of this situation. So there must be a solution. Well, before we jump into, our present day situation, let us build the context up so we have appreciation of what's going on, even from a global perspective, all the way down to the Bahamian experience. Okay? So we start, as always, in the original books of the Bible, page 49, verses 28 and 29. Okay, this is coming out of book number 2, the book of the beginnings, in one of the papyrus or scrolls of the original books of the Bible, the first one. And it reads, verse 28, page 49, it says, "And also those nations amongst humanity, whom many serve, will the Most High Heavenly One and Nayre judge. For by way of pornography and prostitution, these Leviathanians are continually attracting and controlling all members of humanity, just as was done with one of the first member groups of humanity, headed by an Eve called Nekeba and an Adam called Zakar or Cadmon. Okay, both groups of whom were seduced by the Leviathanian powers of lust, which is in fact the death of divinity and the birth of mortality." So this group, these Leviathanians, all right, for the sake of this sermon, we're just going to simply acknowledge them as an adverse force. Some would say the devil, whatever name satisfies people to begin to understand what these adverse forces are. These Leviathanians are those who continuously put things in our path that can attract us or that we can ignore or simply learn from, because we're not giving them any power. They don't have any power over us. You understand? So they can put the prostitute in front of you. They can put the
pornography, whatever it is, drugs, whatever vice. But ultimately, it's us who have the control. But the same thing that happened to who many call Adam and Eve in the Bible today. Of course, their name was not Adam and Eve. Male and female created he, them, and called their name Adam. The tribe was called Adam. Okay? The word male there is not actually there in the Hebrew. It's the word zakar. And the word female is not actually there in the Hebrew. It's the word nekeba. Nekeba is a tribal leader or a woman of the rib. All right? The original scientist. Okay? Which is why this story is found in the Bible in Genesis, which is none other than Gene Isis. Okay? So they were utilizing genes. So this lust is the death of divinity and the birth of mortality. Verse 29. It is for this reason that the heavenly hosts of the Most High Heavenly One, as star people or celestial beings, known as the Intergalactic Confederation, have actually had to quarantine the planet Tar Earth, whereby this quarantine would be taken to another level by having the Luciferian forces and their influences cast from Earth. Yet this is something that can only be done if enough members of humanity were seriously looking to be freed from the control of the Luciferians. And that's a serious statement right there. Now, whether you accept that there's an intergalactic confederation, I ain't none of my business. You got to do the research on that. You understand? Come on Wednesday, we can have that discussion. But the reality of the situation is there's an adverse force on this planet that can be cast from the earth. What do we mean by that? In the book of Revelation chapter 12, Satan was cast from heaven and sent to earth. Yes? So if you already accept that story, then you accept that there's another place outside of earth where Satan was cast from. So there are beings outside of this planet that have control of this planet because they sent them to earth. He didn't picking and choose. He said, you know what? Screw this. I go into earth. He didn't say that. They say, take your backside and go to earth. So there's a group that has control of these Luciferians. Now, it says, if enough members of humanity were seriously looking to be freed from the control of these Luciferians, that this force would be cast away. So that's where we're starting. Before we get to slavery, before we get to colonialism, before we get to Jim Crow and black codes and all of these things, and now it's just a contemporary version of what we've been reading in the Bible all this time. Before we can even touch that, we got to look at ourselves. Which is why today's sermon is entitled, Liberation from Emancipation. Thought she was free. But now we got to be liberated from emancipation. So, we then look in the book of Psalm 78. Psalm 78. Again, just about 3 or 4 verses in Psalm. Psalm 78, starting at verse 17. Okay? And we as a people we've been in the wilderness, as we are today. We've been in that wilderness as a people, even centuries ago, even decades ago. And this is a continuous cycle whereby we've always been on the run, trying to maintain our true religious identity, trying to maintain what little bit of, being or soul or self-confidence that we can muster up and keep. But it says, and they sinned yet more against him by provoking the Most High in the wilderness. So, as we have been a people without a priest and without a law, without a true religious identity, as we've been these people, it says we have sinned. This word sinned is the word chata. Okay? A primitive root properly to miss. Okay? Hence to sin by interference, to forfeit. So, as we as a people have been in the predicament that we're in, whereby we are constantly trying to struggle to figure out who we are. So we go to this church, or we ain't like that church, and we go to that church, and we say we ain't into church, and we's a Muslim now, and we go to the mosque, and you may step away from the mosque, and you see the Rastafarians, and you go to the Rastafarians, and you may come to the Holy Coptic Church. I don't like that church. And you all over the place trying to figure out, who am I? Because we as a people are not grounded. Because we're trying to find our ground outside of ourselves. And that's the trick. Right? It says, and they tempted God in their heart by asking meat for their lusts. Yea, they spake against God. The word God here is the word Elohim, or Nataru Elohim. They said, can God furnish a table in the wilderness? Because this is what people are saying now. As we go through what they call a recession, as we go through these hard times, people don't have faith in the Most High. But you're saying what though? You don't have faith in yourself. Because you don't think that it's possible for you to do what others have done for themselves. That's the sin. We ain't talking about no spook God in the sky. We ain't talking about, well, I don't believe in nobody's up there. Ain't nobody up there who can save you. The helping hand you looking for is at the end of your arm. You want to see them hands? See me up? Everybody hold your hands up. The helping hands, say it, helping hands that I'm looking for is at the end of my arms. All right. See, to not know that is a sin. Behold, verse 20, he smote the rock that the waters gushed out and the streams overflowed. Can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people? So in other words, we as a people have done so many great things. We've built societies that the world marvels at today. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the many pyramids all across the planet. We've invented so many things that we take for granted today, like light, air conditioner, stoplight, solar panels. All of these things, you got blacks in NASA, working to put people on the moon if you accept that they went to the moon. That's another sermon, right? But the point is, you got a people that are being utilized to fulfill the greatness of a nation to the point where now you have this Hitler-style candidate by the name of Donald Trump saying, make America great again, without acknowledging what made America great in the first place, which is the black people, but they're enslaved. That's what made America great. And that's why black people better wake up and understand they're looking for free labor again. Because they want to make America great. Well, what did you do the first time to make it great? You enslaved us. So I should be very concerned when you start saying, well, let's make it great again. Because the formula didn't change. You understand? And so, again, now here we are in this wilderness, questioning ourselves, not recognizing who we are, right? And what does all of this mean? Let's go now to the book of Revelation. Just again, setting the context for the meat of the sermon. Revelation 16, verses 14 to 16. Revelation chapter 16, verses 14 to 16. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles. Can devils work miracles? I'm a trick question.
Yes.
Can devils work miracles?
Yes.
That's what the Bible just say. He's saying, me saying it. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth into the kings of the earth. Who are the kings of the earth? You, kings and queens, Neter and Netert, goddess and God, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world, to gather them to battle of that great day of God Almighty. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. People don't read this verse properly, you know. It didn't say you can't see him, you know. It just said he comes as a thief. You got to pay attention. You understand? Because this book doesn't say, look for Jesus. It doesn't say that. Because the beginning of the book says that the Most High Heavenly One, Aneri, gave a message to Yahshua, who gave a message to his angel, who gave a message to John. So who should you really be looking for? You should be looking for John, who gave a message to the angel to each of the 7 churches. That's who you should be looking for. So there's some angels with messages that people are not paying attention to because they won't skip past the angel, they will skip past John, and they will go straight to Jesus. And Jesus saying, don't go to me, go to the Father, the Mother Father. You understand? So we got this thing twisted, right? But he say, blessed is he that watcheth. Why are you blessed? Because you'll understand that there's a consciousness amongst us that first knocks at our hearts so that we become a part of the consciousness that the Messiah had, so that when the Messiah actually does manifest, the Messiah has a community to come to. Because we still have it in our heads that somebody is coming to save us. Without appreciating, you got to read the whole story. When he was born, he had to be saved. Forget that little simple detail. Forget that there's some 3 wise men had to come and tell him, listen, y'all better go to Egypt. Herod them trying to kill y'all. Which community were these 3 wise men from? Why was it necessary for them to come and find this child to say, no, you better go to Egypt because they're coming to kill this boy. And if he had all of the powers that we say he had, then they should have shoot a flare up and say, bring it on, Herod. Let's do it. They didn't do that. They went to Egypt. They hid. So we got this story twisted. So where's the community where the 3 wise men are going to now prepare and save this child that's going to be born? Where's that community? These are the questions that we have to ask. It says, blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. We are now in a day and time where we are in the nudist camp. Say nude. Say nod. Nod. You're in nod now. Yeah, that's where Cain was sent when he was kicked out of the garden. He was sent to Nod, which was really Europa. And these are the people who now control your policy and control society. They control entertainment. They control Rel Cell Web. They control every aspect of human activity. So now it's okay, as I say to my sisters especially, just because you buying breakfast in the food store don't mean you have to walk around in your pajamas. Yeah. You went in the kitchen. And that's how they just walk around. Like they in pajamas. And you look at them now, I supposed to be the bad man. I can look. So you all put that on the wall. You walk around showing all your business, I can see it. I ain't got to touch. But I can surely see it. You understand? I ain't one of them type of pastors. Because you got some pastors who'll be like, look at that filth. While he's saying that, he looking. I just keeping it real. Man, please cover yourself, man. That's all I trying to say. Just cover, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Let me concentrate on my food store less, please. So I can get home with all the right groceries. Please, man. Wait with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Verse 16, and he gathered them together into a place called, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. All right, Armageddon, which is a place symbolically of where this war, this balancing, this transition is taking place. Okay, which we'll talk about another time. So, this liberation from emancipation is necessary because, number one, we're in a state whereby the planet itself has been quarantined. This is hell. You might want to hear that video. But you already in hell. You trying to figure out how you gonna get out of this hell. And the word hell really don't have nothing to do with brimstone and fire and all that stuff. The word hell means to cover. All of the realities of who you are have been covered. There's so much information that they're not telling us, and they will never tell us. They've destroyed more things than they ever learned about. There were millions of papyrus. There were millions of scrolls. You're seeing evidence of this now by way of the Mali papyrus that are underneath houses, that are in dry wells, that they had to hide. Why did they have to hide it? Because a force was amongst us that wanted to destroy it. Because they didn't want us to have access to universal information, or dare I say, information. Because the minute you have access to universal information, then something inside of you turns on, and they can't rule you. See, outformation takes you out of formation. Information keeps you in formation. So if I always tell you you don't have a story and that you're a savage and that you're the reason why you're getting killed by police officers and you're the reason why the government is taking all the VAT money and not spending it where they supposed, it's your fault. And you start accepting that narrative. Then that narrative starts to play out, because what are you? We are creators. They know that we are creators. So if they can manipulate the actual machinery of the creator, then we start to produce a reality that reflects the false narrative that they've been giving us all of these years. It's very, very shrewd, and it's very, very seductive. You understand? That's why the television and the computer and media on the whole is so important, because what it allows for them to do is to test the waters, to see how much control they have of everybody. You think Richard Lightbourne just said what he said just so? That was a test. That was a test to see if you was going to accept that nonsense about women being sterilized. Something that has been happening to us throughout our entire history, dealing with the Canaanite. And they put a Canaanite out there to say it. You understand? This is what we're dealing with, because all he was telling you was what's coming. You before to say, Richard Lightbourne need to sit down. Richard Lightbourne can't hurt a fly. He didn't get hold anybody down and tie their tubes. He can't do it. You got to be careful of who informing him and the mentality that's informing him. Because you can't get that to sit down unless you stand up. Amen? So, what has happened to us then? Let's go to Isaiah 29. Because we begin to see something here that we should all be very concerned about if we are interested in making the necessary changes that need to come about in order for us to rule ourselves. All right? So Isaiah 29, verses, I'll start at verse 9. I don't know if I can now. Isaiah 29, verse 9. And you got it? Say you got it.
Got it.
Okay? It says, stay yourselves and wonder. Stay yourself. What does that mean? Repent. Stop long enough to figure out what's going on. Don't just keep going with the flow. Be still and know that I am God. Stop. You understand? Because you're going so fast that you can't figure out your head from the tail. Stay yourself and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. It says, they are drunken, but not with wine. Oh, so we drunk, but not with wine. This is another type of drunkenness. It says, they stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. Oh, wow. So a spirit of deep sleep has been poured upon us, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and the rulers, the seers, hath he covered. So you can't see your seers anymore. You can't see your prophets anymore. You can't see your scriptures anymore. you can't see yourself anymore because you're drunk. You're under a spell. You think you're free, and you fight for this system that continuously puts its boot in your neck every opportunity it gets. Every opportunity it gets. And you accept that. Why? Because we're cowards. But most importantly, outside of being cowards, we're asleep. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. So don't come around me preaching no Bible because you can't even see it. Because that's your vision. Listen to the songs that they teach us. Huh? Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Not because you ever saw Jesus, not because he ever did anything for you, none of that, because the Bible said so. So yes, Jesus loved you? Just say you don't know. Because you don't know. Because the Bible tells you so. That's the song they told us to sing. That ain't blasphemy. That's the song you told me to sing. And as an adult, I sang it and say, hold on. Not Jesus loved me, this I know, because he's feed me and take care of me and make sure I can rule myself. There's plenty different ways to say I love you, you know. Put on your seatbelt. That's the way to say, you never say you love me. I didn't say I love you, put on your seatbelt. You know what I'm saying? Iron off. That's how I love you. So we don't burn down the house. You understand? Take out the meat so you can thaw by the time I get home. That's how I love you. He never says I love you. That's people telling you they love you all day. But you can't say I love you. Because you're watching TV. You want rose petals from the door to the bedroom. My first instinct is who can clean this up? I mean, this is sexy and all, but we ain't gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So they have us literally, our vision is literally tied to a book. Okay? Which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. So even the learned can't read it. Because you are educated. You're a part of the academy. But you're not a part of the kingdom of the Most High. Huh? Verse 12, and the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. So he believed he got to be educated to read the book. So he keeps himself under a spell. Huh? So you got learned people who can't read it because they say, I can't read that. And you got unlearned people who say, well, I ain't learned. They thinking they need to be learned to read the book. Verse 13, wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. So all you talking about how you love Jesus, you talking about how you love God, you talking about how you love whoever you say you love, but your heart ain't there to who you say you love, because you didn't even understand the precepts. Most people are afraid because of what a pastor says to them, and by way of pointing to a book, versus their experience. See, how could you liken the Most High to a father? And in the Holy Coptic Church, we say the mother, father. Right? What kind of parent is going to take their child and put them in fire for eternity because they didn't listen? That's a parent? I ain't no parent. That's a step-parent. Because that don't make no sense. Unless you're a father married to a ghost who have a son. Yeah, figure that out. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. Where the boy come from? that kind of dysfunctional relationship may produce a parent who says, well, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to put you in eternal damnation. So, we don't listen to our own hearts. We listen to the precepts of men. Therefore, verse 14, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. So here we are in a day and time where everything that we thought we knew is now being questioned. I mean, you just knew when a baby was born and it had a penis and testicles that it was a boy. You just knew that. I mean, it was just obvious. You know what I mean? It's a boy. Now, the little boy could identify with being a woman. And he could walk into the woman's bathroom, and there's laws protecting him in America. In America. Saying if he wants to now, he could, I feel like a girl today. Wow, really? That's what we're doing? So, this is the day and time that we're in. And so, this blindness that has come upon us, this spirit that has been poured upon us, okay, is a spirit that doesn't allow for us ultimately to rule ourselves, to know ourselves, to even be ourselves. And so, we must, if we're going to actually fix this problem, you have to diagnose it. So you can't go to the doctor and have the doctor assist you with healing yourself, because that's what doctors are supposed to do. They're only assisting you, they're not healing you, right? But any doctor worth anything, what's the first thing they got to do? They got to figure out what's wrong. They got to run tests. They got to diagnostics. You understand? There was a time in the profession, the sunnu, the physicians, could look at you and see which part of your body was ailing because of a mark on your face or your eye, or you check your liver, you check your kidney, your breath, how it smells. There's still doctors who do it now. Some of the old school doctors, when I listen to some old school doctors who say they could walk in the room and they could smell and they can do that test. You understand? That's a skill that we have as a people. You understand? Why am I saying that? What is it that has happened to us and what has become of us? What is the diagnosis of our people? Because if we don't understand that, then we can't fix it. Well, to cut right to the chase, the diagnosis, okay, within the tonology, within the science, the alchemy of the Holy Coptic Church, we understand that we as a people suffer from a mentality known as the Negro dead slave mind. This is not just a saying, it's a condition. And we're going to read today. So you're going to tick some stuff off as we read to see how many aspects of the Negro dead slave mentality you still have. Because we carry with us portions of this mentality. Amen? And if we don't understand what it is, then we can't fix it. We will not be liberated from emancipation, because we're still the property of others. So on page 265 of one of our publications, okay, and this message is from our Basesh, okay, Dr. A.J. Vom, okay, Haru Hotep Tar. This message is from him, okay, as he influences every message that we teach in this church. But specifically, we had a conversation, and he said, tell them Basesh sent this message specifically. But this book, which is actually written by Basesh just means scribe, head scribe. All right? Are you slave mind, student mind, or God mind? Okay? Question is, what unconscious desires make a Negro dead slave mind do what they do, whereby they are controlled by the enslavers amongst the Indo-Aryans, Caucasian Anglos, and Pale Arab Emirates? So notice how that is worded. We're not saying that all white people are slave masters. We're not saying that all Pale Arab Emirates are slave masters. We're not saying that all Indo-Aryans or Hindus are slave masters. That's not what we said. We said the enslavers among them. And I'm pointing that out because as you go out there and you speak with people, that's a formula that is used because as soon as you say slave masters, the instinctive response is, I ain't no slave master. I didn't say you're a slave master. I say there's slave masters among your people. Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's don't make it personal, right? Here are just a handful of reasons which all who seek true faith must contemplate. A, those possessed of the Negro dead slave mind are not people that have been chained, beaten, tortured, and made to comply under threat of death. Because as long as a person has the spirit of rebellion and is ever seeking freedom, they are not imprisoned fully. Thus, the Negro dead slave mind is a person who actually enjoys some mental, spiritual, emotional, or physical aspect of their enslavement. Because the narrative is, well, there are no more people alive that actually were slave masters, and there are no more people alive that were actually slaves. That's not what we're talking about. The people who you had to chain would have broken your skull open if you took the chain off. They weren't slaves. We who don't have the chains on, who too afraid to even say something in public, are the slaves. And we enjoy being slaves because there's portions of our life that we don't want nobody to touch. Don't touch my AC, don't touch my cable. Let me keep my visa. See, we ain't ready for no revolution. All they gotta do is say, you can't go to Walmart. You're taking away pre-clearance. No, never mind. You understand? So we enjoy some level of this enslavement because that's all a part of it. You understand? B, the Negro dead slave mind is a person who is held down by fears, which are brought about by the very idea of the responsibility which comes along with gaining independence from the global Indo-Aryan, Caucasian Anglo, and Pale Arab Emirate systems of the Nubian Melanite domination. So, fear. What is fear? False evidence appearing real. What does that mean? Well, if we tell America to go fly a kite, where we can get our food from? I'm not even suggesting that that's what we have to do. I'm suggesting let's grow the food so when they decide they ain't selling no more, we can say, well, true that. He said, true that. Well, what does that mean? I mean, we get plenty coconut, plenty fish, plenty lettuce, plenty orange, plenty lime, plenty conch. You know what I mean? So if you ain't sending no more Frito potato chip, we got. Actually, that can help us. We get potato anyhow. You understand? But we're afraid. We're afraid to say, let's own the oregano. We're afraid to say, let's own the salt. It ain't good enough to have a salty regatta or a salty fest. And you don't want the salt? What you celebrating? Huh? The little girl on the Martin salt, basing all the salt. With her umbrella. They telling you what the deal is, you know. Pay attention. Huh? So we are afraid to even be responsible. We don't want to step out and even say, let's own a little business. You ain't got to quit your job. You could do something on the side. You understand? You don't have to be so afraid to the point where your job literally take over your life. You can't even be with your family. If you don't have no leverage with your boss, you're a slave. Whereas I don't have a boss. I know the requirements that are needed to help the organization to run smoothly. And I step in if necessary. But you ain't gonna boss me around. You understand? Because I always make the statement, I ain't gotta be here, you know. No love lost. I don't have to be here. I got 10 jobs. Get 10 jobs. C, the Negro dead slave mind are those who would actually fight and die to uphold the global establishments which enslaved them. So, when you start telling people about what's happening to them, they literally fight you back. They literally tell you, no, well, I mean, I hear you, but we still got to do it this way because this is the way we've always been doing it. And you saying, but let's get ourselves together because these people ain't changed. They about to flip the script and they about to literally drop kick you again. Y'all been listening to what they saying in America? I mean, like Trump about to win this thing. You realize what's going on, right? I mean, black people even. You understand? They got to go back to when Lincoln freed the slaves to justify Trump. D.L. Hughley say, listen, if your resume, the last person who helped us is on the penny, you need to update the resume. You understand what I'm saying? He on the penny, he's the only one facing in the opposite direction from everybody else on other money. Put all the American money together, put the cent, the 5 cent, the 10 cent, put all of them together, and all of the faces, all the heads turning one way away from Lincoln. That ain't no mistake. But y'all bragging about Lincoln. Lincoln wasn't freeing no slaves. He was trying to keep America alive. Bring America to life. So, we'll fight to uphold the global establishments. They'll tell you you ain't serious unless you running for office in this town. And y'all ain't serious. Y'all ain't got nobody running for office. Really? That's the only way I can make a viable contribution to this society? I must go in that pig pen? D, the Negro dead slave mind is a willing slave that is unable to imagine living any other life beyond their micromanaged existence. I mean, let's win the lottery. That's easy to think about. There's some marathons on TV with that. You put that on and see what people, how they spend the money. Oh, that's a lot of money. Boy, if we had that. Boy, you know what we could do with that? Boy. While you're watching that, you wasting the time you could have been using. You don't need 250 million. That's beautiful. Hey, we take it now. Don't get me wrong. But where's the plan for 250,000? Because if you give me 250,000 a year, I can live like I'm making 250 million. That's a lot of money. You understand? But we can't even think outside of that because we believe that we are always supposed to be a consumer. We don't think that we're supposed to actually produce. But you are a creator. You were made in the image and after the likeness of the Most High, and the Most High is a creator. So if all you're doing is consuming, then you're no longer in the image of the Most High. You're no longer in the likeness. You understand? Everything is a business opportunity. That's why I watch people like Dame Dash, Jay-Z, Beyonce. I don't really care for the music. I like some of the songs. You understand what I'm saying? But I like to watch documentaries and interviews where they talking business. Dame Dash, his girlfriend, she's drawing this little dog on the paper. They have a little dog and she draw it. He ain't coming there and say, that's a cute dog. And then talk about the weather or the game or something. He say, oh, that's hot. You should put that on a sock. That's how he thinks. Yo, that's hot. You should put that on a sock. You can sell that. It's like, yeah, I like that mentality. And it was said, it's a cute dog. People like dogs. Right? Who let the dog out? E, the worst flaw of the Negro dead slave mind is not necessarily their ability to overlook the truth. They don't even know the truth. But instead their ability to hear it, see it, understand it, and then shrug it off anyway because it is contrary to the global spellbinding events whose purpose is to fulfill the private delusions of members of humanity in varying degrees of genetic potency. So you've all experienced this. You come to the Holy Coptic Church. You've heard a sermon, or you've been to fellowship. You found a Bible verse. You bought a book. You saw something on TV. You saw a video. You saw something. And your first instinct is what? I got to share this, boy. I got to let people know what's going on, boy. You want to see this? Hey, check this book out there. This thing. Are you slave, man? The item is a slave. Man, you know. You got to check this wide out. Hey? Man, and they read, I sleep, dog. My Lord. Or normally is. Look here, step. Or, my Lord. You know, you're sipping on something or smoking on something. And they with you, though. Anku's alright. Yeah, I see that, man. Chrissy love. Yeah, man. I come in, you know. I come in to check the wide still. Sunday, right? 9. Yeah, maybe not this Sunday, but yeah, all right. All that before, right? Yeah. All right. Okay. So it ain't just me, right? You hear this information, it makes sense, and then you shrug it off because you're afraid. You don't want to accept that this information now will actually change your life because you say you're not already comfortable paying bills and you know, I only got 3 more years on my mortgage. And don't mess with me right now. I hear you, that sounds good, but, you know, sure, I got 2 more years of college. Don't mess with me. Right? And that's fine. I understand. I'm not trying to tell you to break up the place. You understand? To be right. That's what we're saying. We're saying you got to think and plan beyond your monthly paycheck or your 5-year political party. You understand? You got to think long term. How are your grandchildren going to live? See, none of us in here may be afraid of a policy that says you get sterilized after you have 2 children if you're not married. Well, but whatever. Richard Lightbone, he's senile. Whatever. You can say what you want to say. What about our children? What are they going to be faced with? So immediately, instead of running on with Richard Lightbone, we need our own birthing centers. You understand? Which we've already started to contemplate and to actually get numbers on, by the way. We've already spoken with people who are interested. We just need like $250,000 to do it. But we need to be able to control the womb of our women. You understand? So, this micromanaged life, you know, we got to move beyond that, right? Again, we shrug off the truth. F. For the Negro dead slave mind, the truth exists, but it is no longer useful. Whereby lies, myth, beliefs, blind faith, religion, and/or monotheism make the universe turn, while facts are a tool to be used or cast aside at will. We're so used to the lies that we don't even feel that facts matter anymore. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, you know, we know Jesus ain't white. Yeah, we know that. We know Santa Claus ain't real. But you keep perpetuating this cycle of every year acknowledging these forces that ultimately spellbind you. You say you know it, then why aren't you doing something about it? G, the Negro dead slave mind has an obsession with willfully following, believing in, and accepting of the global religious, social, legal, social, economic, and political laws of the enslavers amongst the Indo-Aryans, Caucasian Anglos, and Pale Arab Emirates. Whatever policy they put in place, we run behind it. We don't question it. Because we feel that's the law, let's move with it. The Negro dead slave mind, through irrational and psychotic, still requires a certain foundation to hold it together, whereby the laws of global governments tend to pacify, even though these laws in most cases go completely against the divine African forces of innate conscience and conscientiousness. So, example, people are now saying, well, see, we need to have sex education in our schools and teaching people about family planning. That's true. You should be doing that. But the point I made to somebody recently on Facebook is that actually comes with your culture. See, when you have a culture, your culture literally says, at this age, this is what this child's supposed to be learning. It's called rites of passage. A child's supposed to be learning about their body. You know, the first 10 years of your life, you shouldn't be 10 and don't know about your body and know how it functions. You're learning about that and what you ain't supposed to do and what you ain't supposed to do with wetting. All these different things is a part of your culture. So by the time you get to school, I mean, that's just reinforcement. You understand what I'm saying? The Negro dad slave mind has been bred to have an innate desire to need to be accepted. This is I. Whereby those amongst the Nubian Melaninite family, infected and possessed by this adverse force, seek harmony not within, but instead outside of self and kind. Even when that so-called harmony is with a system that is designed to destroy the global Nubian Melaninite family. So what are we being taught? Well, we gotta hold hands. Let's become one. You can't be one with other people if you ain't one with yourself first. You want to hold hands with somebody who killing you and beating you and, stole your land and took your language from you and really got you in a state whereby you don't know up from down and they blaming you for it, but now you will have a barbecue with them? I ain't saying hate anyone else, you know. I'm saying you could look someone, whether they white, Indian, Chinese, whatever race that's not Nubian Melaninite, you could look them in the eye and say, I want for me what you have for you, you know. Simple. If they can't understand that, then bow out. You ain't got to run on. Don't come to me but holding hands, and I still ain't holding hands with my own brothers and sisters. You understand? Because that's the problem we have. We got these pictures with a black baby and a white baby. We don't learn. What is it? Racism is learned. I understand that. Let's just understand that the same little baby, whether it's black or white, also will pick up the rat poison and put it in its mouth too. So don't make it seem like the little baby is so smart. And that's why they play with each other. They don't know any better. And that's who next to them. So hey, what's up? You dribbling, I dribbling. You understand? Because when they get to a certain age, they got some realities to face. You understand? In the 60s, where all the hippies went from the 60s, where'd they go? They went into corporate America. They cut their hair, they shaved their beards, they hid their marijuana, they ain't stopped smoking it. They ain't stopped smoking that. And they went into corporate America. They said, okay, nigga, it was fun. Free love, it's time for me to go make some money now.
Peace and love.
Yeah, but they left you right on the street marching. So don't let them talk, but they holding hands with you. It's convenient when it's necessary for them to do so. All right? The Negro dad slave mind has been placed in a situation whereby the global viciousness carried out against the Nubian Melaninite family is such that many members of humanity actually become comfortable with the continual global mistreatment and atrocities carried out against us. It's like a battered wife syndrome. You're getting beat. Well, he didn't mean to do it. You know, you didn't kill me last time because you loved me. Huh? Really? That's what we doing? And that's why the police will say, you know what, we ain't getting in this. No, but you don't understand. He'll try beating on the broomstick. Miss, he used to do this every month. She just go back. We done see this, right literally 2 doors from us. I didn't even know you could throw rocks that big. You see the big rock fly from my woof. I said, what was this? Watch out, that's this then. And he walking up. I said, I ain't getting in that. And that's us with our oppressors. They could, I mean, what more do they have to do for you to accept that they're the devil? What more? I mean, they literally on camera. You think if black men was killing white men, if black policemen rather, was killing white men the way white policemen killing black men, you think blue lives would matter then?
No.
See, they didn't understand black lives matter. But they understand blue lives matter. Because when you say black lives matter, they say no, all lives matter. But now it's blue lives matter. No one's standing up and saying, no, it ain't blue lives matter, it's all lives matter. So what's up with this word black? Black. We can touch on that. All right, but to wrap up. Says, I think we on K, the Negro dead slave mind is such that as long as those possessed by it, they actually feel as though they are part of the global machine. I'm a part of it. You know what my title is, eh? You don't know where I get the part, do you? As long as they're part of the global machine and accepted by the enslaving group, they don't care what the machine does to others of their own racial family. Huh? They'll make excuses. Oh, that's because they don't have their life together. That's because they didn't go to a great school. Wow. I went to a top tier university. And, I'm smart. They're not smart. Really? You believe you're smarter than that? You believe you can live off of $210 a week? So you got to be smart to do that. Harvard can't teach you that. Harvard teach you how to live off of $80,000 a year minimum. When they drop below that, they start jumping out the windows. So they ain't really that smart. The smart person can live off of $210 a week. But we don't see you got to learn how to flip it on them, man. Flip it on them. You know what I'm saying? But really, you make $1,000 a week? You're not that smart. Huh? I can actually live off of $210. I'm much more efficient than you. So technically. Smarter than you. That's the stuff I would say. You don't have to say it. And last but not least, the common arguments spoken and believed by the Negro dead slave mind include, hey, we all have to live together. She's talking about Uncle Sarah, you're divisive. You're a black supremacist. We all have to live together. Oh, that's why we're living together. So we stopped living together when we opened this church. That's what happened. Oh, Blair just came around here. Oh, Life just established that. When we established this church. That's what happened. Camperdown. They just started horse riding when we started this church. That's what happened. I don't hate white people, you know. I'm just telling you what already there. Port New Providence, when did that open? I used to clean pools in Port New Providence. And I ain't cleaned pools since I was a teenager. Okay? I wasn't nowhere near a pastor. Treasure Cove. Yeah, they got black people in there too. Not too many dashiki wearing black people. It's important to know that. Because they'll tell you that. Oh, my neighbor's black. Really? Does he know that? We all have to live together, and so we must sacrifice our selfish individualism for the greater good. Our governments are here to protect us, and we should do everything we can to make their job easier. That's what we say when we are under a spell. Yet rarely, if ever, do they question if the global systems are legitimately helpful or harmful. We don't question that. And so at the end of the day, and this is the main portion that Basesh wanted me to share with you, right? When we talk about rel cell well, because we got to know how to break this spell of sleep. When we talk about rel cell well, and for those who don't know what it is, it's right up. Religion, economics, labor, sex and gender, education, law, war/security, entertainment, right? 9 levels of human activity. All right, this is what every group of people utilize to function. People hear me on Risky Love, they think I talking about something black. Chinese have this, Indians have this. Every group of people who control themselves control these levels of human activity. Okay? So, this right here though, the religion. See, black people, we think we do smart for religion now. Because we done been duped so long by a religion that wasn't ours that we don't even want our own religion. Right? So the word religion means to bind or tie fast. See, Anku, trying to get us to tie ourselves up. No, I'm trying to say tie your precepts, your rights, and the laws of the Most High. Tie them to your heart so you don't lose them. So you can have your own identity. Because if religion as a tonism, let me be clear about that. We're not talking about any religion. We're talking about a true religious identity. If this is at the tip of the spear, then we begin to dissolve the self-hate and begin to love ourselves in such a way whereby, see this word black? Remember they say, you kept saying, what's up with this word black? They can say blue lives matter and that's okay, but black lives matter. Oh my gosh, let's have a debate about that. The word black really is not a color. It's a state of mind. We say aswood. Say aswood. And the word aswood doesn't really mean black. You learn as we teach in Tamaray, aswood means black. The aswood mirror or aswood pyramid. It doesn't actually mean black. What it's talking about is the asira, the essence. Wulud. The love, the essence of love is what this word aswood is actually saying. The essence of love, the essence of ashug, the essence of the complete unity and naturalness of all nature, the essence of the Most High. That's what they're afraid of. When you start connecting to the essence of the Most High, their spell can no longer work on you. You're no longer a slave. Now you become a student mind. Now you begin to question. Now you want to learn. And then you eventually become a god or a goddess mind because you say, come let us build. Yes, I understand you have a beautiful program over there. You have a beautiful religion. I'm not knocking it, but I must be grounded. I must be rooted in something that I'm sure of. And I'll help you now. But I ain't moving from where I got to move to get this thing done. You understand? And so there's a song that was written by Michael Macer and Linda Creed. And it was originally recorded by George Benson for the 1977 Muhammad Ali biopic, The Greatest. It was later popularized by Whitney Houston. And it's called what? The Greatest Love. Right? So we all know this version of it. Right? And I want you to, we can go through some of the lyrics as we end this sermon today. Right? So we know, this is the one that we know. This is the one we've all heard. Go on YouTube, 45 million views. Right? However, this is the original one. And this is by George Benson. Alright? And what is this song saying and why is it so important for us as atonists? Because I don't care how much knowledge we have, and I don't care how much we actually think we know. There's this love that we gotta connect to. So what does the song say?
I believe the children are our future.
So I believe the children are the future. That's key. Because if the children are not taken care of, then your future is doomed. Your future is bleak. Right? So because the children are the future, what does it say?
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Teach them well and let them lead the way. So these leaders who can't allow our children now to step up in leadership, they are a big part of the problem. And they're afraid to let the children lead because they didn't what? Teach them well. So you can't start knocking the children, because the grade's about to come out in a couple of weeks now, BGCSE, BJC, and they can start knocking the children, but the children are like water and we are like pipes. So if the pipe points in the middle of the living room and water all over the floor, you cannot draw the water. Huh? It says,
Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
so show them all the beauty that they possess inside. That's how you teach them well. So before we even understand math and English and literature and geography and let's get all A's and let's get a 4.0, they got to go into that classroom knowing that they're beautiful. You understand? It says what? Give them a sense so they can sense pride. They know when you're talking foolishness. They know when you actually are instilling pride in them versus you talking foolishness. So there was a time when you could be proud to be black and not be called a racist. Now, when you say pride, all of a sudden that's attached to gay pride. So they have a whole, every year, it's called pride. Did you go to pride this year? Say, wow, and that's what they call a group of lions? The pride, the conquering lion and tribe of Judah? Don't let them take that from you. Be proud of who you are.
Make it easier.
Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Because see, we stopped laughing. You can't stop because we so busy paying bills and we so caught up, we so emancipated. Because we ain't liberated. What's the root of the word liberation? Liber. Say liber. Say libro. Spanish for book. El libro. Because this is a Latin root. So technically, you're not liberated unless you have the right books that will help to liberate you as opposed to emancipate you. You understand? So it goes on to say, everybody's searching for a hero. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Ruben Ingram, Mary Christie. Well, you understand? Everybody's searching for a hero instead of searching for themselves, right? People need someone to look up to. So that's why we put these posters high. So you gotta look up to them and see yourself. Say, I never found anyone who could fulfill my needs. Because that ain't other people's responsibility. Stop looking for other people to fulfill your needs. What does it say? It's a lonely place to be. Because atonism is lonely now. I'm letting you know. I only warning you. If you just come in here, that's why we hang out. It's a lonely place. And so what?
So I learned to depend.
Okay. I learned to depend on me. Not just you as an individual, but you as a collective. That's who we depend on. Right? Then what did it say? Decided a long time. Never to walk in anyone's shadow. As long as you stand behind those who control the system, you're in their shadow. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. That's the shadow you in. But you can't fear no evil. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. I did it my way. That's what Frank Sinatra said. I did it my way. So they can say what they want about the Holy Coptic Church. You understand? 100 years from now, you understand? When we statues or pictures or posters or whatever, they can say whatever they want with us. But you know what they can't say about us? We was controlled, that we didn't do it our way. We're doing it our way. No matter what you take from me. So you come from a mortgage, you come from my house, my car, come from money. So you can't take what from me. Can't take away my dignity. That part is remind me of Coming to America. When he was singing it, right? But our dignity, a state of being dignified, a state of being royal. You are royalty. So you should carry yourself as royalty. If you don't carry yourself as royalty, you listen to any successful person. Listen to the P. Diddy's of the world. P. Diddy was dressing like he had his own record label from before anybody knew who he was. I ain't tell you what I hear P. Diddy say. I am say that. I know one of P. Diddy classmates who I was working with. And he said, Sean? Oh, you know Sean. Sean used to come to class dressing suit like he going somewhere. Sean, why you dress up today? I said, don't mess with me. I got plans. You know what I'm saying? Sean just keep moving and moving and moving. Until one day, they say Sean bust up on Howard campus for homecoming with this fat dude following him. Yeah, who that fat dude was? Biggie Smalls, and the rest is history. You understand? So Boss Sash was like, man, share that with them. You know what I mean? Because this gives you back your dignity, your pride. Once you have your pride and your dignity, nobody can mess with you, you know. Because all they will ever do to undercut you is to try to devalue you. And tell you, well, look at you, look at you, look how you dress, look how you carry yourself, look how you people kill each other, look how you this, look how you that. No. That's why I started the story from a global perspective. The whole planet is screwed up because of a force. You understand? And if we don't understand that, and if we don't understand the Negro dad slave mentality, then we can't diagnose it and begin to fix it. And the way to fix it is to begin to just simply love yourself. Love your, you don't have big nose. Stop saying you have big nose. You have nose. Some people don't have nose. Stop saying you have big lip. You don't have big lip. You have lip. But some people don't have lip. Stop saying you have big hips. You don't have big hips. You have hip. Because some people don't have hip. You got to flip the narrative on these people and smile while you're saying it now. No, girl, I'm not hip ain't big. I just have hip. Well, what is she saying, Becky? Becky, she's saying, you don't have no hip. As Ice Cube would say, miss 6 o'clock. Straight up and straight down. You understand? And so, as we end today, I just want us to be encouraged and to know that there is liberation for us. And the liberation comes by way of us knowing our true religious identity, which we have as our own records. And we don't expect anybody to come in this church and just accept that these records are real or authentic. No, we expect you to do your homework. We expect you to research it, because at the end of the day, the only thing that you have is what you actually confirm for yourself. You can't walk around this place saying, Ka-Hun, Anku said, Pastor Enius said, Pastor Sheen said, Sister Clarice said, Brother Mike said, whoever. You got to be able to say, no, there's records. You can go to the London Museum. There's the Shabaka stone is there on the wall. You can do the research and see. The Dead Sea Scrolls are there. You can see it. You understand? If not, you will continuously be brought back into a position where they are going to. I want y'all to hear me clear now, because I don't want nobody to say they didn't know. They are building more prisons than schools for a reason. Schools are closing down while they build prisons. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to build prisons. They're telling you what they have in store for the black man, woman, and child, especially because they don't need us anymore. They have machines now. You understand? They never meant for you to own anything in this world. I ain't just talking about America. You understand? And so let us find the greatest love inside of us as we say Amun and Namastu.
You have been listening to the True Light Fellowship Hour, brought to you by the Coptic Church of the Black Messiah, Journey Home Group International, and our advertising partners, of whom we are very thankful. We are located at number 72 Meadow Street in historic Baintown and led in the Bahamas by Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Ka-Hun, Anku. If this message has been a blessing to you today, and you feel it in your heart to assist us in bringing forth this weekly message by way of advertising or otherwise, or you wish a copy of this message, we ask that you please contact us at 242-426-1148 or email us at copticrevealer@gmail.com. That's QUBTIC revealer@gmail.com, or on Facebook, the Coptic Church of the Black Messiah Journey Home Group International, Bahamas Branch. We bow to the divinity in each and every one of you by saying, Namastu.